Hi. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the same origin policy. This is a very important security feature of browsers. First, I will explain the problem, why we need the same origin policy, and then you will see how it fixes it. We've already talked about that running JavaScript code in browsers is a very powerful tool. So let's see another detail of that. The JavaScript code in browsers is also capable to send requests to other websites using the XML HTTP request object. It's always implemented a little bit different in every browser, and it's totally different in IE, but I was talking about browsers, so it doesn't matter. But let's look at how it really looks like. So you would do something like var xhr is a new XML HTTP request to create an object, and then you would say something like xhr dot open and then the request verb, then where to send the request, and at the end you say whether it should be synchronous or asynchronous, and then you say xhr dot send. So with that, we create XML HTTP request object. We set it up to be a GET request to the etherlab.net, and then we send it. And if this code is executed in the browser, this will send GET request to the etherlab.net. Here, with XML HTTP request, you are pretty free to create whatever request you want. You can add new headers, you can add content, you can add whatever. So if this wouldn't be regulated in the browser, then the following attack scenario would be possible. So we have our browser here, and we have a website here. It's the attacker's website called boobs.com, set up to lure innocent young men to it. But to the contrary, what they expect, it will show only cute cat pictures. But that doesn't really matter, because the attacker's goal is that they just load the page. Because when the page is loaded, then it downloads JavaScript code, which starts sending requests to facebook.com. So when somebody loads boobs.com, it will reply with JavaScript, and then the JavaScript will start sending requests to facebook.com using the XML HTTP request and receiving the responses. Since the browser will attach the session cookie to every request which is sent to somewhere, if the cookie exists in a browser, then if the user is already logged in to facebook.com, which is pretty probable, then these requests will be valid for facebook.com because they will include the ID for facebook.com. As I said, this is a fictional attack scenario, but what do you think the problem is here? Pause and think about it a bit, and restart when you figure it out. Alright, the problem is essentially that JavaScript downloaded from boobs.com is allowed to talk with any other websites on the internet, and exploiting the fact that the browser will attach the cookies automatically. So the same origin policy was created to fight this problem. It says that JavaScript is only allowed to send requests to its own origin, in this case to boobs.com. The origin is defined by three things: the protocol, the domain, and the port number. So if we take http boobs.com, and let's say it's on port 80 as our basic, then this is our protocol, this is the domain, and this is the port number. So when you try to send an XML HTTP request, it will be checked whether where you want to send it is the same as where the JavaScript came from. If any of these three is different, then the request will be blocked. So let's look at a few URLs. This is where we downloaded our JavaScript from. So sending requests to this URL will fail because the port is different. Sending requests to this URL will fail because the protocol is different because it's HTTPS. And sending requests to this URL will fail because it's to facebook.com. However, sending requests to this URL will be successful because all these three elements, the protocol, the domain, and the port, is the same. It's just to another path. So that's all right. So this regulation in the browser is the same origin policy. Just to recap, it makes sure that JavaScript cannot simply talk to any other website. There's a new technology called cross-origin resource sharing, or CORS, which changed the same origin policy and how it works a little bit. The CORS is out of scope of training, but on the long term, it makes sense to look at it and understand it. It could be a little bit complicated, so Google it, look it up. I also made some conference presentations about it. You can find one at this URL, and you can check out that one. I try to explain CORS pretty deeply there. The reason why we talked about this, because this is a pretty important security feature of browsers, and we need that to understand how JavaScript works and how attacks can be implemented. And we will use that in the future. Until then, see you next time. Bye.